The release of Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 earlier this year was quite contentious. It was a gigantic hit. Don't want to take that away from anybody because we got to call balls and strikes on this one because, oh boy, I remember the conversation around that one. But yeah, it was a follow-up, a much anticipated follow-up to 2018's Kingdom Come Deliverance. I think 2018 or something like that. But yeah, it was a massive indie hit from the first-time studio that had a lot of groundswell, okay? A lot of groundswell because the director and a lot of the people working on the product weren't really taking any crap that the industry was trying to shovel their way. They weren't trying to bend, fold, or break to anybody's ideology. They had a game that they were out there trying to produce, and you know what? People were happy that they wanted to stay true to the historical accuracy. And then in comes Deliverance 2 and a bunch of the, to be completely honest, yeah, to use this term in the most literal way possible, a bunch of the grifters got into their feelings on this one, going, why is there an African there? Well, actually, because, you know, there was a certain point in history where, you know, things like that happen. Oh, there's a gay romance with an underage kid. It's like, well, God, I hate to have to go to bat, okay, and you know, you just end up looking like it comes off and it really gives cutie vibes. Ugh. On multiple levels on that one, but there's certain things that happened back in the cut, like it or not. I mean, 15, ugh. It's gross by today's context. It still repulses me personally, getting all the disclaimers out of the way, but back in the, 14th century, I mean, people were playing a little bit more fast and loose with the rules. That's the way that it is. Not endorsing it, not condoning it, just simply saying that's the way that it is, but no, all of the people out there crying and complaining, oh, misogyny in my games, it's like, it's a completely optional choice. There's a bunch of other titties that are all throughout the game, but if that's a deal breaker for you, I mean, your choice after all, okay? You don't owe your money to any of these studios. They aren't entitled to your patronage. Make your decisions as you go. Like, I got Kingdom Come Deliverance for free. I think it was over Christmas, like Epic Game Store was giving away games every single day, and Deliverance happened to be one of them. So yeah, I might check it out at a later date. It's in my back catalog, but it's not exactly high up on that, mostly because the gameplay, I mean, it looks interesting, but from the people that were playing it, they just ended up kind of falling off because it just ends up getting repetitive, and it really doesn't look all that inspired. Okay, it doesn't appeal to me. If you like it, obviously there were a bunch of people, I think like 200,000 concurrent players. It ended up selling gangbusters. It was a big hit, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 earlier this year. Now it's been overshadowed by the success, I think, Claire Obscure Expedition 33, a game that I actually am excited to play, and I might get around to it. That one's definitely high on my list. After I'm really done with Rebirth, and maybe if I want to go through a couple of other things again to just really refresh a couple of references, I might do that first. But yeah, if there's a new game that I'm going to be buying later this year, maybe on a discount or something like that, it'll be Expedition 33, and it's doing exceptionally well, and it really hasn't pissed off anybody, okay? In fact, people are going, if this thing doesn't win Game of the Year, there must be some deal on the side out there that, you know, it's mandated the GTA 6 win, because this right here is a certifiable banger in every single aspect. I have not even heard one partially negative. I haven't even heard a mediocre review of that game so far. So yeah, the AA space is thriving. And so that brings us back to Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, because for all of the goodwill that the studios and the game is getting, talking about Obscure, there's no A at the end of it, but they really should have had it there. Like, Claire Obscura sounds a lot better than just Claire Obscure, but they're French, you know, and they can only get so many correct takes in a certain allotment of time. But yeah, they've ingratiated themselves. They've been super humble about all of the accolades that they have received. Okay, you just take a look at their social media, and it is exactly how you want them to comport themselves. And also, I see Andy Serkis was working there. You know, Charlie Cox got an opportunity to be in something good this year, so you know, you take the bad. Daredevil Born Again. Does anybody remember it? No, it just wrapped up a couple of weeks ago, but nobody's talking about that at all. But at least he can be in like the biggest surprise and potential game of the year. So good for him. Good for him. Meanwhile, even in the lead up to the release of Deliverance 2, there was one guy that was out there, okay, the game's director, Daniel Vavra, who was really doing some, he was really bleeding as much goodwill towards this project away from it as possible. Okay, he was clearing up some things that ended up, you know, grabbing headlines, the whole gay romance. He was like, no, okay, here's what can happen. Yeah, it's in there, but it's also a completely optional choice. Yeah, there's an African dude that's in there because this is what was going on at the time. Okay, it historically makes sense, but all of this stuff, a lot of it is optional. I don't know what you're complaining about. Okay, so he was clearing up some stuff, and you know what? I do appreciate that. Okay, there's a problem bubbling in your community. You want to nip it in the bud? So be it. That's totally fine. And then he started to get spurgy and petty, and that's when it's like, bro, you're kind of flaming out. Just you know, you're winning. Okay, people are playing your game. People are, you know, really playing your game. Take the W. Stop focusing on all the idiots that are out there. But he just wouldn't do it, and so a recent revelation makes a lot more sense as to why he has been so antagonistic with the audience. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 director says devs self-censored to avoid outrage from oversensitive people. Are hired consultants from every group. Oh, you hired consultants, huh? Yeah, okay, that totally makes sense. Straight from the horse's ass, Kingdom Come Deliverance series director Daniel Vavra has confirmed that in seeking to avoid offending oversensitive audiences, the game's development team at Warhorse Studios sought the advice of various sensitivity consultants to help them self-censor their work. Vavra, who not only helped found Warhorse Studios, but also serves as a current creative director, and provided this insight into a recently released second entry development process during a recent appearance on the Insider podcast, as hosted by native Czechoslovakian by noted local reporters Tomas Jirsa and Michael Pure. It's Czech shit, whatever, man. Invited to speak about his experience developing the Kingdom Come sequel. The director was at one point asked how he felt for the fact that some critics who previously wrote both him and his first game off as controversial due to his pro-Gamergate stance were now singing his praises. Yeah, because that was one thing that was immediately like, ooh, is this game going to be bad? Because all of the people that were dunking on the first game saying that, oh, it's a 7, you know, IGN giving it a 7. Very interesting, IGN 7, huh? Interesting. Yeah. Or all of a sudden saying that, you know, ostensibly the same type of gameplay, the same setting, and a similar type story, all of a sudden was groundbreaking and a breath of fresh air, giving it 9s and 10s, 8s across the board. And it's like, what changed? Okay, like, yeah, okay, maybe you got a little bit more money. Okay, maybe you got a little bit more support now that you took all your profits from the first game and you ended up, you know, putting it back into the development cycle of this one, making it bigger and better, making it a true sequel. Maybe that's the case. Or yeah, you just ended up bending the knee. Oopsie daisy. Honestly, I don't care, Vavra replied in turn. Bro, whenever you say you don't care, okay, it's the old Tywin quote. Any man who says that he is the king is no true king. I don't really care. Here's the thing, okay? Like, I don't care. Oh, okay, here's the God's honest truth. I don't care about water polo, okay? I never talk about water polo. I never think about water polo. I don't even really know the rules of water polo. That is something that I generally don't care about. Daniel Vavra clearly cares about the opinions of others. What you can buy bread with is money you earn. So I go by my conscience. I don't need anyone's approval to know what I can or can't think. Of course, it's annoying because, it does interfere with work. For example, I wanted politically liberal Czech actor Ondřej Večky for the role of King Sigismund in Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I was really worried he'd turn us down because someone would tell him what I'm supposedly like. But he took the role. He knew who I was when he showed up. I thought, okay, is this going to be a fight? Because he's known for being intense. But we actually got along well. Wow, imagine that. Okay, we even talked politics, not avoiding it. And though we didn't agree on everything, it was an intelligent debate. Well, yeah, imagine that. But that's normally real life, and somebody who normally wouldn't care about stuff like this would have these everyday interactions, and that the idea that this could be a very contentious debate wouldn't have that front of mind. But anyways, I'm always afraid of that, right? But I don't think about it at all. This is the stuff that will hurt potential collaborations. It certainly makes personal relationships harder. Some people just can't handle it. I'm not like that. No, not me. No, never. No, I'm not the guy who constantly gets in petty squabbles with random accounts on Twitter. No, I can handle it. I'm not like that. In fact, I think conservatives are more thick-skinned about the stuff than liberals, maybe because they had to keep quiet for 20 years and they're used to separating politics from work. Liberals often act like everyone should think the same way, and when they realize that's not the case, they can't handle it. And to be completely honest, man, this entire squabble, which when you get down to brass tacks is not that big of an issue, at least in my opinion, kind of showed that there's a certain sect of quote-unquote conservatives, the trad cucks that are out there that, oh boy, they have just this thin skin of those libs that they love dunking on. So it's an interesting scenario we find ourselves in, but I digress. On that note, Yursa and whatever, man. Next asked Varva if, in the development of Deliverance 2, there was ever a moment where you thought, damn, now I've stepped over the line and it could actually hurt business or complicate what I'm trying to do. Obviously, sort of Damocles was hanging in the air for a while. I was really afraid that they'd dig those things up again, the stuff that they pulled from the first time, and that's why back then, when the first game came out, they pulled out all of those controversies, right? That's that it wasn't diverse enough and that there weren't enough black characters in it. Oh, but I don't care about this stuff. And since then, I've basically re-engineered myself on the Czech internet. Yeah, I don't care about any of this stuff. Conservatives have thick skin. I've reimagined myself. Yeah, just go ahead and just, hard cut both of those statements together. On Facebook, I told myself, well, today I have more automatic translations, right? So checking out my Facebook in English is no big deal anymore. So it was only a matter of time before somebody did that and started thinking, whoa, this guy's a Trump supporter? In the Czech Republic. Okay. He's against this and that, and he's writing these kinds of texts, and honestly, I really thought that it was a serious risk. I was actually ready for the possibility that I might get fired because the company doesn't belong to me anymore. Yeah, because he sold off to Xbox. Interesting stuff, huh? How all this stuff changes. You get money for those consultancy groups all of a sudden the moment that you get Big Daddy Xbox to pay for it, huh? Or they force it upon you and tell you that this is what you need to do, and because you don't think about, offending anybody, you just go, yes, please, I don't want to get fired. I don't care about it. But what happened in the meantime is things flipped so much to the other side started attacking us, saying that I'm a leftist or whatever else. So basically, the very things that we're worried we'd get slammed for by the left, we just got hit just as hard, but from the right, because we added some things in response to earlier criticism, but we did it in a historically accurate way. Yeah, that's the thing, man, okay, because I seen his logic behind it, and when he ran through, there was a multiple bullet point list. There was a big long thread that he put out, and yeah, we went through it, and you can go check that out from earlier this year, and it's like, okay, yeah, everything ends up making sense right there. I don't really see a problem with this, but yeah, all the people are like, sodomites, oh, we can't have that in the game, it's supposed to be, should, could. Just a bunch of bullshit, man. Like that's the type of people that just piss me off, man. Just out there, they're Jesus hustlers and shit like that, man. They're just as insufferable as the people that just want, pride flags and everything. But anyways, but look, the game is apolitical. It really doesn't try to send a message of any kind of ideological direction. Still, I did want to respond a bit to past criticism. So we added some elements that they claimed were totally normal, and we put them in just as part of the world, but in a way that might realistically have happened. And I suspected that people demanding that stuff wouldn't actually like it. And the result, the other side hated it even more. So now, in a certain group of people, we're suddenly considered the bad guys. And I don't want anything to do with either side. I actually realized I'm a centrist, but I fucking hate this shit, man. Oh no, I didn't leave the left left me. Oh, what's that though? The right's getting too conservative? Oh, I'm just a centrist. I'm just one of these, wishy-washy idiots in the middle. Oh, fuck off. Have your own convictions and stop ascribing yourself to a group. But hey, he doesn't care about this stuff. Maybe that's how you come to these conclusions, where you constantly need labels to differentiate yourself because you don't care about things so much. So it created this totally bizarre situation where the group that hated us last time now supports us just because the hate from the other group, they hate the other group even more. And most people are just tired of this whole culture war thing. Honestly, I think I might have even helped us out a bit, because this hate from the anti-woke crowd kind of softened the hate from the other side. But either way, it's just dumb, completely dumb. Now, I do kind of agree with that, but how many sales did you end up getting from the group that obviously hated your game and just hit their rocks off from hating the other side as opposed to supporting anything that they supposedly want and enjoy? So realistically, man, you tanked any future prospects for a third game to try to own the chuds after you tried to own the libs. So yeah, I guess maybe that is the centrist position where you just want to be insufferable to both sides of the equation. But even further in the interview, okay, the paid-walled version, where he confirms the self-censorship, moderator and the producer didn't interfere with the development in any way, even in this age of the culture war. No, we were rather careful. We were interested in what we were doing and informed, but they didn't like it and they didn't tell us to add or remove. Perhaps it was also like that because we self-censored. Of course, you self-censor. There are things that are really hard about how you portray them because in this age of oversensitive people. Any examples? We verified everything with a ton of consultants to make sure that no one will complain that we portray anyone differently than it should be. For every religion, every minority, every group of people, we had consultants we sent our script to, and we asked them whenever we have something wrong in the script. And the things that they said to us were cool. In the end, the game is better thanks to that, as they told us what to remove. So yep, they ended up bending the knee super hard over there. So yeah, anything coming out from Warhorse is going to be gone over with a fine-tooth comb. And honestly, I wasn't exactly all that enthusiastic about that, but I was very much in the minority of people who were aware of this game. The second one did great after the first one was a runaway success, and the third one, don't know if it's going to happen, but it's definitely going to be festoon with consultants, an overbloated budget. Maybe it won't be overtly woke, but it's going to be a tough thing to sell. But hey, at least you capitulated to the people that were giving you hell the first time around to piss off the people that supported you, which didn't happen until after you hired the consultants. So this is very much a chicken and egg type situation where, yeah, you didn't want to offend the games journalist the first time around, so you hired consultants that would end up pissing off your fan base, and now you're mad that your fan base is mad at some of your decisions. But I don't care about any of this stuff. You're an interesting cat there, Dan. Hey, at least on the other side, right? Like if you're bending the knee and you're trying to gain the favor of the game's journalist, and that was like the most optimal time to do it. I mean, it's not like everybody's getting fired or laid off. I mean, like Jeff Grubb, who has been wrong about everything, somebody who, sat gleefully next to Alyssa Mercante when she was calling out everybody in the world to fight, that former waitress who just got shit canned from, her day job. You could go back to OnlyFans. Sweetheart, I'm sure that'll work out well for you. But Jeff Grubb, yeah, well, that was a dream come true. I knew it wouldn't last, though. Out of a job at the moment, but I'll always be doing, and then whatever the fuck he's doing over there. Games journalism, yeah, taking all the hits today. They created the culture wars in gaming. We fought back. They lost. Oh, yeah, and that's not even the worst of it, because, hey, if we're looking for a review for Kingdom Come Deliverance 3, you're going to be coming from Polygon. Bruh. Oh, this is a great day. The only thing that would be more sweet than this is ultimately when Kotaku shuts down. But Polygon sold to Game Rant owner Valnet. Oh, so they already have Game Rant, and they just bought Polygon. Oh, okay, so redundancies? Oh, yeah. Polygon, The Verge's sister site dedicated to gaming and entertainment, has been sold by Vox Media to Valnet, a company that owns brands like Screen Rant, Game Rant, and Android Police. Some Polygon staffers will continue with the publication under its new owner, while others have been laid off. Oh, no. According to a post online, an internal message sent to Vox Media employees. Oh, no, that sucks. That's hilarious, right? Because I remember when Steven Totillo and the rest of his cringe squad first announced that we're going to be doing some serious journalism over here at Polygon. All of the best and brightest minds from the likes of Kotaku and GameSpot, IGN, they would all be convening in one central location, and now they're fucking closed. You'll love to see it. Valnet owns more than 27 different brands that covers areas like entertainment, gaming, sports, and travel. A recent report from the Wrap includes one former contributor to the site under Valnet. He has purview describing conditions as almost sweatshop level. I mean, I use a fair few Screen Rant and Game Rant articles whenever I just need to, set up something that's like, here's what the goofy take from the mainstream media is. And yeah, those look like just generic slop. So the sweatshop comparison, I mean, kind of makes a lot of sense. Perfectly aligned with Valnet's long-term growth strategy, Polygon will now integrate Valnet's gaming portfolio, which includes industry-leading publications like GameRant, The Gamer, yes, Effextra Life, Open Critic, Dual Shockers, and Hardcore Gamer. Oh, okay. I haven't heard of three of those: Open Critic, Hardcore Gamer, and Fextra Life. But yeah, The Gamer, oh, just a beacon of games journalism. Oh, the best. The company said in a press release, the addition allows Valnet's recent acquisition of Fextra Life. Okay, earlier this year. Oh, okay. Further strengthen its position in the gaming media landscape with Valnet's proven operational excellence. Polygon is poised to reach new editorial heights, though focused in. Through a focused investment and innovation, even though they laid off most of the people still over there at Polygon. So yeah, it's just going to get folded in. It's just going to be another slop brand until they decide to close it down because they want to keep a more unified branding with game and screen rant. God bless you, Polygon, and God bless you, Daniel Vavra. You wanted to appeal to a dying industry, and you did it, and now you get to reap all of those benefits. Congratulations, stupid. You fucking played yourself. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.